Hello and welcome to Whiteboard Project Management Learning Channel. This is Roman. In today's video, we will discuss about projects, project life cycles, and project process groups. Let's go to the whiteboard and get started. Projects. At the beginning of each project, you have a business case. The business case will define what is required to be delivered. So let's describe it on the whiteboard. So let's consider a business case as a roll of papers where we have a document defined the business case. The business case is generated according to client's requirements, the client's need. So the client needs to provide some service. The client needs to create a product. The client could need to improve a product or improve his services, extend his services. So he generates a business case. This business case will define exactly what is required to be delivered at the end and what will be the benefits of these requirements. So this business case will be approved. Once it's approved, it converts to a contract. And the contract defines the scope and the time and the cost and quality of the product or service. So, talking about the contract, once we have a contract, we have a start date, the start date is defined as a milestone. So, you have a start date, then it's defined as a specified time where to finish it. So you have the finish date, you have a start and finish. And this time you have the time period, time or duration. So contract is defined the start, the finish, and the duration. This is the first thing. Then at the end, when everything is finished, you are delivering the product or the service or the scope required in this contract. So you have deliveries, and you complete the scope. During this, you will provide product, service, or result. That is very clear. So you have a business case. The client generates requirements. He see that he needs to extend his services. He needs the client could be a production company or a product company. So they need to extend their services. They need to extend to improve their products or to increase the capacity of their products. So they generate a business case. This business case, once it's approved from the client management, will be converted to a contract. The contract will be signed between two authorities and will be considered as official document to start the project. Now, in the contract defines what will be delivered. Is it a product, a service, or a result? These are the requirements in the contract defined. The time duration to create these products is defined in the contract. The start and the finish date is defined as well in the contract. Once all these things are defined in the contract, this is what we call a project. A project always have a start and finish date. Once he has a start and finish date, that means the project is temporary. Temporary means as a start and finish, there is an end. Always there is an end. So a project can be defined as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So this is a simple definition of the project, and I hope that I explained to you the main definition of the project. Project lifecycle. So after we define the project, we will now discuss about the project lifecycle. When each project has a start and finish, as we described in a milestone, there is a start and finish as a milestone for each project. Now we will describe what is going in between this start to finish. We start from this part and we will go to the finish line. So we have in the project life cycles, we have initiating process groups. As a first, to start the project, you need to initiate the project. We will discuss later in other videos the details of initiating process group. So you will need to initiate once you start the project, you completed the initiation of the projects, the required documents, you nominate teams or whatever, or you start the main documents and you say, okay, let's kick off, let's start. Now, what's next? You have the documents, you have the contract, and you need to start plan how you will execute this project, how you are going to deliver this product, service, and result. So, second part, you need to plan. And the planning processes is a wide range of information. We will discuss it in later videos. So now we will discuss only shortly about planning. Planning, you need to plan how you are going to create this product. You need to plan how you will gather the team and how you are going to use the tools and techniques to deliver this project in the best way to the client. Details of planning will be discussed. Once you have planned everything, now it's time to start. It's time to execute, to make something happen. So you need to execute. Once it's executed, it's not like, okay, let's execute it and we will finish it in this date. But something could go wrong. Something could happen in a wrong way. Something could be in a good way. And you need to keep checking your plan and your execution. Are you planning in a good way or in a wrong way? Do you need to improve your planning? Are you going as per the plan? Let's see. So you need to do something. M&C, monitoring and controlling. So you need to keep monitoring and keep controlling. Once everything is finished, you monitor and you control and you execute the scope required, then you will reach to closing. So let's describe it here in the timeline. Once you start a project, you will start with initiating. initiating process groups. You initiate the project. Now, you need to plan. So you go to plan. You plan the project. Now, you need to execute the project. So we will do execute. We executed what we planned. Now you need to monitor and control. So in this part, you will keep M and C. You will keep monitoring and controlling the whole way up to the end. Once it's done, you go to closing. When you are going to close it, the project is finished. So let's go through it quickly. You have the contract, which defines what you need to be delivered. A product, a service, or a result. In which time frame to be delivered. So you have a start date, you have a finish date, and you have at the end a product or a service. Now, you started the project, so you initiate the project. Once you initiate it, you need to plan it. You need to plan according to the contract. What do you need to plan? So maybe you need to create activities like activity A, B, C, and D. Let's just consume. If you make activity A, B, C, and E happen, the project will be finished. So we planned the scope required to deliver the project. We planned activity A, activity B, activity C, and activity D. Okay, that's good. Now, let's execute the activities as per the plan. We planned to make activity A happen with some resources within some period of time. Activity B has its own resources and time. Activity C and activity D. Once you start executing, you faced some problems. This could be happened due to wrong planning or due to some external factors. We will discuss in details in other videos. So you need, once you are executing it and you see it is not going as per the planned activities, the planned durations, it is not working. You are keep monitoring and you control it in a way that you replan it again and keep replanning until the activity delivers really what you want to deliver. So you keep monitor and control. Monitor, that means I will check always, does activity A deliver it as per my plan? No, it is not. Okay, let's replan it and re-execute it and keep doing this until activity A, activity B, activity C, and activity D all is done in 100%. When all project scope completed in 100%, that means you don't have anything to do else. You completed these activities and you delivered what you need. Delivered the product, the service, or the result required in this contract. Once you delivered it, you can close the project. Close it according to the contract conditions mentioned. So I hope that I just explained shortly about project life cycles. In other videos, we will go in deep details in each activity and each process group of the project life cycles. Project phases. Okay, we discussed about the projects and the project life cycles. Now we will discuss about project phases. So what are those phases? The project could be a single phase or a multi-phase. So let's describe it. Project could be a single phase or could be a multi-phase project. A phase is a sequential of logical project activities. That means in each project, when we define the activities of the project and defined which activities need to be done to deliver the required deliveries and products, you have a sequential activities, a logical sequential. You need to do this, do that, one after one to deliver it. So that is the project phase. So in the contract should explain what type of phases in this project. Single phase project has normal activities from initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling. Then you have closing. Once you have one start, one finish, one initiate, one plan, one execute, one close, that we call it as phase. Phase of the project. So this is one phase. So the project could be a single phase project or could be a multi-phase project. That means this could be done once and project is finished, and this could be done in multi times and could be finished. Now, let's discuss about multi-phase projects, because most of the projects has multi-phase projects. If we consider this box, one box, as one phase, that means this box includes, I will put a star here, and this star means it includes initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. This box includes all these project process groups. Now, a multi-phase project could be a sequential phase or could be an overlapping phase. Let's discuss it. A sequential phase project if we consider this is phase 1, this is phase 2, and this is phase 3. So in each phase you have initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. You have first phase. Once you finish, you start the second phase. Once you finish, you start the third phase. That means I have a logical sequences here. When I have finish to start, that is start and finish, start and finish, start and finish. Once I have to finish phase 1 and then start with phase 2, finish phase 2 and then start with phase 3, this is the start of the project, and this is the end of the project. So I have a project timeline to start here, finish here, and I have 3 phases. This sequence 3 phases, we call it sequential phases. This is one type. Now, let's talk about the overlapping phases. Overlapping. As I mentioned, I have, this is phase 1, and now I have phase 2, and then I have phase 3. I have here start of the project. I started the project, I executed first phase, and there is a condition inside this phase which describes once I finish this condition, I can start with phase 2. So before closing phase 1 and during executing of phase 1, I will start with initiating phase 2, preparations of phase 2. So I start here with phase 2. During phase 2 starts, and it's defined inside phase 2 how to start with phase 3. So there is a milestone inside phase 2 describes the start of phase 3. So I start with phase 3. And I still not finished, not closed phase 2. Once I finish with phase 3, that means I finished already phase 1 and phase 2, then I can close the project and reach to the end, and this is the timeline of the project. So an overlapping project phases or multi-phase overlap. You have first phase, second phase, and third phase. All 3 phases are overlapped. In some projects, all 3 phases could happen in one time. That means you execute phase 1, you execute phase 2, and you execute phase 3, and you have all 3 phases going together, and then you are closing one by one. That depends on the contract and on the way how to execute the project. So you have 3 phases overlapped. Once finished, you have internal milestones. Be careful, we will talk about this later. You have main milestones and you have internal milestones. There is a difference between them. So it's finished, start, finish. This is the project duration. And be careful, each phase, end of each phase describes in the contract what to be delivered. So I have finish and finish and finish of phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. So I have to be careful that these finish milestones of each phase, I will just refer it here, describes in the contract what to be delivered. We will later show a practical example of these phases, of these finish milestones and end milestone, because once all these phases, milestones are finished, this is linked to the main milestone, and the project could be described as completed once all internal milestones of all phases is completed. Definitely there are other project phases like iterative project phases, waterfall phases. We will discuss about it in next videos. Now we just describe the main phases and the single phase and the multiphase, which is the sequential or the overlapping. These are the most used projects, and definitely the waterfall projects and the iterative projects phases also used in different type of projects. We will come to it step by step. We will discuss. There are a lot of videos planned in this channel in deep details of each phase and each description of project management, which is a wide sea of information. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that I delivered to you some new information. If you like it, you can like, subscribe, share the video, and don't forget to hit the bell button to get all the new released videos. Do me a favor, take your white sheet or whiteboard at home, 5 minutes daily, and review what we had reviewed. Every day, 5 minutes, you get a lot of information. Don't tell me that you don't have time. You always got the time. 5 minutes daily. Thank you for watching. See you next week.